Hello friends, welcome to Technique. This is Nirmal here, and in this video we will be doing a detailed camera review of the new Nothing Phone 1. So Nothing Phone 1 is the latest smartphone, or rather the first smartphone from the brand Nothing. They had launched the Nothing Year 1 last year, and this is their first attempt in launching a smartphone. And the specialty of the device you might be already knowing. It has this LED lighting at the back, and you get the glass finishing, and then there are some added touches including the software experience, the Nothing OS. Now in this video we'll be talking about the camera experience, how good the experience is. We'll also be doing different speed tests. We'll be uploading different videos on our channel, so do check out that videos whenever we upload. Now coming to the camera, so you get a dual camera setup. So unlike a lot of smartphones in this price segment which have quad camera setup and also triple camera setup, now Nothing has gone with a dual camera setup, but these dual cameras are actually doing a lot of other purposes. So but then how does it perform? That's what we're going to talk about in this video. So before getting into the detailed aspects about the Nothing Phone 1's camera, if this is your first time on this channel, do hit that red subscribe button and also hit the bell icon to get notified of all the videos we publish. So let's begin. So first let's have a look at the camera hardware. Now the Nothing Phone 1 comes with a primary 50 megapixel sensor. Now you get a Sony IMX766 sensor with f1.8 aperture. Now you get optical image stabilization and electronic image stabilization as well. Then there are a bunch of modes included. Now the secondary camera is an ultra wide angle camera. It's the Samsung's JN1 sensor. It's f2.4 aperture. Now the in fact f2.2 aperture. Now the advantage of this JN1 sensor is that it also acts as a macro sensor. Now you can take macros up to 4 centimeter distance using this ultra wide angle camera. You can toggle it from the settings. So macro mode is there, and it uses the ultra wide angle camera. Now on the front panel you get the Sony IMX471 sensor. It's a Sony's 16 megapixel shooter. We have seen that on a lot of OnePlus devices as well. So that's the camera hardware of the Nothing Phone 1. So let's see how good the experience is on this device. So let's have a look at the camera samples. So first let's have a look at the daylight captures. From the daylight shots you can see that the phone offers good details and colors are also good. There is good sharpness levels too, and this is evident when you pixel peep, and the overall quality is quite good. The colors are pretty good and it is more or less accurate, something which is missing in this segment, and Nothing nails it with good colors which are realistic too. But things go bad when you look at the dynamic range, which looks pretty average or poor. The HDR processing doesn't really work in harsh sunlight, and as a result shadows are underexposed, and this spoils the entire experience. For a phone in this segment, the dynamic range processing is pretty average, and this needs to be fixed with updates in future. Now moving on to the 50 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, the clarity is once again good. There is adequate sharpness levels, but colors are not as consistent as a primary camera, but nevertheless it is quite okay and keeps it to natural looking, even though it does look a bit washed out at times. But overall quality of the ultra wide angle camera is acceptable and better than the 8 megapixel shooters we are used to seeing in this price segment. Next up, the close-up images. This is where the phone does exceedingly well in terms of details and colors. The sharpness levels are very good and colors are spot on, one of the better cameras in this segment for accurate color reproduction. The depth effect it adds to the images looks very good. While the phone does not have a macro sensor, it uses the ultra wide angle camera for macros, which is a smart implementation, and you can go as close as 4 cm for macros. The macros are good and they offer good details, and colors are also good thanks to the 50 megapixel Samsung sensor. In terms of portraits, here you can see that the Nothing Phone 1 produces good looking portraits. The detailing looks excellent, and so is the sharpness levels. The skin tones are accurate, and also the edge detection portraits works pretty well. Overall, the portraits are looking great on the Nothing Phone 1. Now moving on to the low light images. In indoor lighting condition, it produces good results which are adequately sharp and detailed too. The noise has been kept to minimum. But when light drops further, you can see noise creeping in, and this is where you can switch to night mode. In night mode, it takes approximately 5 seconds to capture the image, and this is a bit too high considering most phone does it in 2 to 3 seconds. But OIS helps in getting a steady and good looking images in low light. Nothing has managed to keep the noise under control, and overall the night mode quality is good. It does not go overboard in terms of night mode processing, and we really like the way it works, and this is overall good performance from Nothing Phone 1. Now moving on to the selfie camera, the 16 megapixel shooter does a decent job with selfies. While the sharpness levels are not as good as the primary camera, it does a good job overall. The skin tones are kind of okayish, I would say, but there is still room for improvement. But thankfully the dynamic range looks better here. The phone also comes with portrait mode for selfies, and it looks good in terms of edge detection. Next up, let's talk about the video recording. The phone can record videos at 4K at 30 fps, and it's maxed out at 30 fps. There is no 4K 60 fps. And here the quality looks okay. The colors and sharpness levels are adequate, although there is a bit of disturbances while panning and not a smooth transition. The sharpness levels are good, and the stabilization also works pretty well. Now moving on to the 1080p at 60 fps, the quality doesn't look that impressive, although the sharpness levels are quite okay. The phone can also do 1080p at 30 fps, and the quality is once again decent, and all the footages are stabilized, and stabilization works pretty well, although there is still room for improvement in terms of video quality. The phone can also do 4K 30 fps for ultra wide angle camera, and the quality from the 50 megapixel shooter looks good. Once again, you get stabilization for all the video formats across all the cameras. There is also slow motion available at 1080p resolution and 720p, and it looks quite good. So this is the video recording taken using the Nothing Phone 1, so you can judge yourself how good the clarity of the video is. And this can shoot videos only in 1080p resolution. There is no 4K support for the front camera on the Nothing Phone 1. So summing up, how does the Nothing Phone 1 compare or compete in terms of camera performance in this price segment? So overall, if you look at the camera on the Nothing Phone 1, we list out the areas where it actually does really well in terms of sharpness levels, color reproduction, and also in terms of close-up images, macros, even the portraits are good, night mode is also good, and selfies are kind of okay, I would say. But things go really bad in terms of the dynamic range in the primary camera, which needs to be fixed, because if you're taking images in the harsh sunlight, you can see that the shadows are underexposed and you don't get to see that great detailing in the photos. That's definitely missing. But if you are not into harsh sunlight, you might get decent looking images. This is one area where nothing needs to improve. The dynamic range processing, it looks actually it looks awkward considering how good the implementation is. Probably this can be definitely improved via software updates. Now overall, the ultra wide angle camera also looks good. The portraits are good. The close-up images is exceptional actually, and even the portraits looks really great. The color reproduction, Nothing has maintained it really well, although the ultra wide angle camera does have a slightly different color reproduction, but not a major concern though. Now other area for improvement is the video recording, which we feel there is still room for improvement. Not a great quality as such, but it still can be used because it has stabilization, but it still needs a bit more fine tuning, and also selfies could be a tad better in terms of overall colors. So overall, we feel Nothing has done a good job in terms of camera quality in the Nothing Phone 1. So in short, is it good? Yes, it is good. Is it exceptional? No, it is not exceptional. It does still need a bit more improvement, but most people won't be disappointed with the Nothing Phone 1. So that was the camera review of the Nothing Phone 1. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. Do hit that like button and also hit the red subscribe button for more videos. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in our next video. Have a great day.